I think that's what we should work on. I'm just literally parking, and I'll be able to be in the house and join on the laptop in a couple of minutes. But can we look at the agenda, and Linda, can you look at the agenda and let's start to hash out what people suggested last week and what it is we want to make sure we do, and then what time frame we want to start to work on doing it.
All right, before we go there, I have a question.
Yeah.
Now we've got we got written minutes from the Queen. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't we like part of this accept these minutes? Because I'm not sure. Because when we go to the to board meetings, we do have to accept the minutes of the board meetings.
Oh, okay.
And I know the minutes I have in my hand are the one that was presented to the board meeting. So I'm not sure if it's the same one I got, it's the same one that everybody would have.
We can accept them. I don't mind. I mean, I don't think if that was something, I don't think we necessarily was in compliance with that, if that was a thing.
Normally.
Yeah, but everybody should have the same minutes though.
Okay, cool. Right.
Yeah,
everybody.
They're all the same minutes.
Good.
Yeah,
okay,
everybody got the same minutes.
Good. All right. So you okay?
Yeah. No, I'm trying to park. Just walking by me. I'm like, good.
All right. So I would our agenda start with the welcome, and Sol had already welcomed us. Our next on the agenda is introductions. So if we could, especially, new people who have never been here before, I think majority of us have been here since last year. So we know each other to a certain extent. So if there are any new people tonight, could you identify yourself first so that we will get you out of the way?
Good evening. My name is Adrian Greaves. Unfortunately, my computer screen doesn't have a camera, but I'm the program manager at Elite Learners, which is located here on Rogers between Hawthorne and Winthrop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm new at this position, so I'm trying to get a little feel for the community and try to help smoothing things out with our organization as far as anti-violence, anything we can do with the youth. Any more with mental health issues as well. So I'm here just to see what's going on, and if I can, gain some information, definitely it would be a plus.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Pamela, I see you hiding.
I am not hiding. Hello, everyone. My name is Pamela Payne, and I'm interested in seeing what the Youth and Education Library is doing.
All right.
Thank you.
Pamela, tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do. Pamela was with us not last year, but the year before. So just give them give them a little bit of a background of what you do.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take my face off. Hello, everybody. My name is Pamela Payne. I am, I call myself a education advocate, ambassador for youth from birth to college and career ready, helping them get ready to succeed in life. I deal with gun violence. I deal with parent leadership. I am a superintendent of Christian education. I deal with Faith in New York. I'm a youth advisor. We're putting together a program that supports young people. And I do believe that young people are the future and they just need the support from the adults. So I like to provide that.
Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, everyone. My name is Natoya McGee. I am an attorney. I work in criminal court in Brooklyn. And so I'm interested in this committee because many young people here.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
And I think it'd be good for just those of us who are returning to give a brief description of who we are and what we do, just because they don't know who we are. I'll start go a little after so I could settle myself down, but maybe you could start with Linda.
Okay, my name is Linda Watson Lord. I am the Executive Secretary to CB9. I've been on the Youth Service Committee for over four years, plus of 5 years. I am a youth leader, like Pam, in my church. I'm a youth leader in my parish, St. Gabriel's on Hawthorne Street, and also the entire Episcopal Church for the Diocese of Long Island. I've been doing that for over 30 years. My day job, I'm the Cultural and Community Affairs Officer for my country, Barbados. I'm a counselor in the city. And I love kids, I love young people. That's my line.
Thank you. John?
Hello, good evening, everybody. You hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
My name is John Beckles. I've been on the community board for a while. I just joined the youth committee last year, and I was very, very, very happy with the work and the things that everybody participate to do. I'm a former youth development specialist for New York City Administration for Children's Services, and I just recently started today the role of community engagement specialist for New York Criminal Court Supervised Release Program and Brooklyn Justice Initiatives. I'm just happy to be here and help out if I can.
Wonderful. Who else do we have?
Hi, I'm sorry. I was
Go
new
ahead.
as well.
Who is
I'm sorry,
that?
I'm at work. Candace Edwards.
Okay, thanks, Candace.
I'm sorry for whispering. I'm at work. I'm part of the nursing staff at a nonprofit organization downtown, a clinic for LGBTQ. I wanted to be part of this committee because I've lived in the neighborhood my whole life. And basically growing up, I felt like there was more things for kids to do. And having a small son, I just feel like I want to be a part of something, doing something for the youth. I feel like the youth is the future and they need to have their eyes open to different things. And thank you.
Thank you. Police?
Hi, my name is Felice Robertson. I was raised in this community. I've been on the community board for at least 10 years. I primarily sat on the transportation committee, very involved with the ULIC committee due to the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens, one of the vital gardens that we are fighting vehemently to prevent these builders from casting a shadow that would destroy the garden. I'm also here for the youth. I'm with the union. I do many things. What I do is all that I know and all that I have, I try to channel it into where I can help the best. That's then transportation, which I'm now vice chair of. That's with the youth. That's with ULIT. I'm grateful that I was placed on the community board before Eric became mayor. You know, I'm here to help, and I really enjoy helping. So much so that I had asked this captain of the Army to speak at this meeting and to explain all that the Army is. My father was in the Army. I benefited very much so from my dad being in the Army. And if you could please allow him to speak so he can express what the Army can do for you. Thank you.
Did everybody introduce themselves?
I think I missed the new member introductions, but just to go, my name is Kwesi Jimin. I am a recent graduate from Middlebury College, and I've been in the BK9 community all my life, especially given that I went to high school at Medgar Evers, which is right down the block. Now I find myself as a program manager for I Will Graduate, as well as a DYCD provider. And so I oversee a cohort of 30 youth who essentially are tasked with being civically engaged. And I still kind of consider myself a youth. And so it's always great to be in the presence of those who have been more experienced in this work, to see what sort of resources, wisdom, and just overall support I can give to them. And then what initiatives I can kind of share with them in terms of giving back to the community, because that's the whole point. But yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Kwesi. Did I miss any? Did anybody miss or did everybody go?
I think I'm the only I was a late entry here. I just wanted to introduce myself real quick, if that's all right. My name's Tyler Stotts. I live over in Fort Greene, but I do all the Army recruiting for all of Manhattan, the northern half of Brooklyn, and then all the way up to LaGuardia airport area, including Long Island City and Astoria. I just kind of wanted to be here. Felice and I have had a pretty good relationship ever since we met a couple months ago. And so we've been just kind of trying to coordinate as best as we can to see what we can do to help the young people in the area, whether that's mentorship, doing after school stuff. I Will Graduate. I believe Akwasi talked about it as well. But doing things like that and getting the community more involved, whether that's, paying for school as well, or providing someone some of these young people jobs on the outside once they're done. Anything that we can do to help. Our job is basically just based in service, more than at least for my part, more than we really care about trying to get people to join the Army. We need to be a part of the community, and that's what we're here to do.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else missing? Okay, so I'll introduce, okay, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Latween. I'm taking notes. I'm secretary, co-secretary with Cynthia, and also co-chair with as well with Billy. I've been on the board this is my second year on CB9, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I worked in youth development for the past 6 years before transitioning into HR for luxury retail, but I still find myself wanting to help the youth. So here I am.
Thank you. So hi, everybody. My name is Sol. Again, I apologize. I'm usually never late to meetings, but today was just a lot of different circumstances. So I appreciate your patience with me today. I have an organization called Soul to Souls, and it's a nonprofit for social emotional development, leadership development, college and career prep. And we have the kids create films that express what they want the world to know, as well as now we have a after school program. So you know how that is over at Jackie Robinson Middle School, which is in CB9.
Wow, my son just joined that. I'm sorry.
Oh, did he?
My son just joined that today.
Yeah. So today was our first day. And everything went pretty smooth for a first day. It was pretty good. And and then we've been doing, this is my second year with the committee, and now I'm chairing youth services and education and library committee. So I'm happy to be here with all of you. We have a very positive and wonderful group, and we're really looking forward to those of you who are joining us and being with us this year and wanting to see, what it is that we want to accomplish. Last year, I think we did a pretty good job of accomplishing at least 90-something% of what we aim to do. We did really good at, making sure we had some big events like the Job and Career Fair, the Family Fun Day, and some book giveaway and supply giveaways, and a bunch of other things that we were able to do. So we love for you guys to feel comfortable with bring your ideas as to what you'd like to see, because, you know, we all work together as a good team to bring it and make it happen. My biggest thing that I'm asking for people to do is not just make great suggestions and do some of the work as it lead up to, but one of the bigger things is also being there for the events, because we also need your presence and your support for that too. So that's mainly it. So Linda, did you get to finish reading the notes, and then we can vote on the notes? Yeah, we can't hear you, Linda. You're on mute.
I just want to say, move that the minutes of our last meeting be accepted from this committee.
Okay. Can somebody second that?
I second.
No. So Latwina and Alethea seconded it. All right. So we'll move into some of the things we spoke about for last year, last meeting. This year, this semester, what we'd like to talk about is what are the activities we definitely feel that we'd like to do, and then what kind of time frame do we feel we need to put on, you know, whatever it is that we commit to. So just for a debrief on that, which was from the notes, people suggested a community and neighborhood cleanup, a clothing drive, a community garden support. There's one between Union Street and Eastern Parkway, but then I also realized that Jackie Robinson Elementary and Middle School also has like a little garden in front, if that's something we'd be interested in doing. We talked about a youth summit, and the good thing is that one of the Jackie Robinson Middle School has a youth summit that they're going to be doing. And they said they would be happy to have us join in on it, and that they had over 500 people, almost 500 people participate in it last year. So if this is something we want to do, we can support them with it and plan with it, and maybe, you know, add some panelists and discussions and stuff with that too. So that's something I wanted to put out there. And we always support with the community board, community fair. And I don't know if there's any other suggestions that people have. If there is, you know, please let me know. So
on the community neighborhood cleanup,
yeah,
I think our environmental committee under Debbie last name is going, Debbie Timothy. Timothy, she usually do something like that. So maybe instead of us starting, we could join with the environmental.
That's fine.
Right. So I like that one. The community garden support. I remember again, the environment committee did speak about that, but that did not come off. So we could go ahead with ours where we could get, because we wouldn't be competing with another committee on the board.
Okay, that would be fine. But I really do like the idea of a community neighborhood cleanup, because to be honest with you, I'm just seeing like places that are just dirty. Like I just, you know, like for example, where I live, and I live actually right off of, live on Union Street between Franklin and Bedford. And what I don't like is there's a particular area where they never, like for some reason, trash always ends up there. And I don't know why the building people never clean up in front of the garage and all of that. So there's just like some key spots here and there throughout the community where I just see trash consistently being, you know, thrown around. Pick a certain section that we want to do, and, you know, maybe then, Linda, do we particularly ask the board to provide like some of the cleaning supplies and stuff like that? Or how does that work? Do you know?
Yes, we could do that, because I think, Khalid?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have like buys and stuff available from the office. Yes, so we can do that.
We can assist with that, you know, reaching out to the district manager and come to happen.
All
So
right.
you just got to bring out gloves, our own gloves and stuff.
Yeah, I think we would need gloves, maybe broom and dustpan, like the big long ones. A couple of those because sometimes there's trash in there and then we could put and have gloves. So that would probably be all we would need. So, Linda, could you broach a cross discussion as a liaison to say, when are they planning to do it? Can we just do it as a team?
Yes.
But I guess before we agree upon it, I would like to see if you could put the little hand raise. Oh, another thing, guys, with me, I'm very big on, like, if we're going to have this meeting, I'd rather see people's faces than just names and, stuff. It's just, to me, more warm and participatory. I don't like the feeling that if I walk by you on the street, I don't even know what you look like. So if we can join in on the camera, please do so, unless there's extenuating circumstances. The other thing is, can we put hands up if we're voting that this is something that we want to do? So I'm asking for votes on that.
On the cleanup?
Yes, on the community cleanup. Yes. Okay, and you guys could do what Latwina's doing. You guys can also put the hands up there and have a vote.
So, question, would this be something we want to do often? Like maybe like once every other month or something?
Good question. What do people feel about that?
Will we be looking at the same area all the time, or will we be looking at different areas?
No, because I noticed, especially now since school has started, especially with the teens after school when they have their snacks, so different high schools, there's probably a bunch of trash. So maybe if we go in different areas, I think that'll be, and then we can encourage them to keep it going as well. So we could pick
I like the train that you look at the school area, because we should be able to speak to the heads of the school and let them know that if they're dirty, they should have clean too. We're not the scavengers, we're not letting them get off.
Got you. All right, so I only see 3 hands up. Are people not interested in doing the cleanup? Okay, I see 3. Latween, you could put yours back up. Linda, I don't see any on yours. Can you, even if it's a thumbs up, y'all throw up something, because I don't see a majority yet. Okay, and I'm saying yes for sure. Okay, I think that's a majority right now. So we're saying yes, we will do that. When do we want to try to do our first one then? What's the ETA on that? It is starting to get cold. So when do we want to plan to do it?
I thought we were doing it with the environmental team.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Linda, do you know when they're doing theirs?
No, I could check with Debbie for you tonight, send her an email and see if she's doing it, and if she's not, then we go ahead with our own.
All right. Let's say that we're doing let's say we give a little estimate. Is this something we want to do for next month? Something at the end of the month? Like when the next meeting is the second Tuesday of November? Are we trying to do it before that or after that, I guess is the question, because that affects how we're planning it. Because we don't necessarily have to wait for them. Like, we could still do more than one and we could still join in on them. But what are people's time frame or interest in time frame?
Maybe we might have to do a poll on that, because at this time, I don't think that everybody will come prepared with the time. So maybe we could send out the poll and see what happened.
All right. Yeah, I just don't like to push things and wait too long, because then it never gets done and we only get to meet once a month. So maybe what we could do is, Thanksgiving is coming in November. This is October 10th already.
When is the next meeting?
The second Tuesday of November. And yeah, I feel like we should try to
do something before.
Yeah, we could either do it before or right after, but we know it's going to start getting colder. So that's just something to consider.
Well, you proposed the school. Why don't you look into the school and see if they want to do something before it get cold, if they have something planned. Because you did say Jackie Robinson had a youth garden, right?
Yeah,
So
they
they
have a
have
youth
a,
garden, but
right.
this is the cleanup, so.
So maybe we can clean up that area, maybe make it a opportunity to talk about who we are to the parents and to the youth school on
Mhm.
that date. I don't know, we could turn it into something and have a list of the other days that we're gonna do, if we're gonna do other days. You
Okay.
know, if you plan that out, then you can get, and then you have over across the street, Ebbetsfield, right? They
Right.
got a cleanup garden over there, so maybe it's something that we can merge and grow. I mean, that's your idea, so I just, in considering time, that's something you could look into.
All right, so we can look into something. So I would just say like by next, maybe I'll put out an email. I know I got everyone's email. The other thing is, are people okay with, do you guys give phone numbers? Because I was asking if it's okay for phone numbers because they gave me emails, but I know we usually create a WhatsApp or a Slack or something type of group for us so that we could communicate in between the times. And I believe everybody gave permission. So unless somebody feels as though they do not, you don't want to say numbers and stuff here because this is live and it we don't want, you know, anybody to put their personal information, but unless if there's any objection to people having any phone numbers or anything that's listed or an email, please let us know. And if you're okay with it, then, you know, I want to start to put that WhatsApp group together so that we can communicate in between. So I'll definitely will reach out to the school. I think we could do that area and maybe a couple blocks up. We can do some cleanup. And
we could do all the way up to Eastern Parkway. That'll cover your block too.
yeah, we could. So we could do from, that would be from, I guess we could say what's the street, what's the street?
Empire to.
Yeah, I would say Empire. Empire is where McDonald's and all of that stuff is.
Correct.
Yeah. What's the street in between, like the one right
McKeever.
after Empire? McKeever Place runs this way, but there's a street that runs this way. I forgot what Sullivan.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
it. So we could start from Sullivan up, but since most of that is commercial going past that, we could start from Sullivan and go up. So let's just plan if the next meeting is November. I'll look into whatever that we need to, and then we could just pick a date by next meeting. Let's pick a date that'll be close to maybe right after our November meeting. So that could be the first thing that we do if we, you know, that.
Also, I know parent-teacher conferences too. That might be a good way to get in touch with some of those. I know it changes every time, but I know that should be coming up pretty soon.
Right.
Parent-teacher.
That would be good. And then I also know that maybe we could ask, since I have the after school program that's right there, maybe we could do it on a day where the kids help do it. So it won't be just us, you know, maybe typically we will dismiss at 6, but maybe we could just ask the parents, hey, we're going to do cleanup. Can you guys come that day, help with the cleanup and take your kids home from there? And, you know, they would be able to be responsible for helping to keep the neighborhood clean and their school area clean too, which I think is a valuable experience for them. And I'd have some staff that can help out in that way, which I think is good for kids to learn to clean up, because I see them throw things down a lot. Like they just, you know, throw things on the floor like it's a trash. And I think if they're learning, like you have to help to clean up your neighborhood and keep it clean, that'll be a valuable lesson to you guys. So are you in agreement with that?
Thank God.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll have it ready for next meeting. Thank you, everybody. Clothing drive, is that something people want to do? Now that takes more time. We also have to consider if you're doing a clothing drive. Oh, Felice, you have a hand up for a question? And Candace, I see both.
I apologize. I got kicked out. So,
okay.
So you're saying that with the schools, and I'm sorry, I missed something vital that you said.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, we were talking about the neighborhood cleanup that we said we all agreed that we want to do it. And so we were saying that we would incorporate, we was going to start by Jackie Robinson Middle School down to to Eastern Parkway, go up. And I was saying we could incorporate the kids that's in the after school program with us to come and help that day and ask the parents to come that day. So maybe we can, I know most people get off at 5, but maybe we could like do it around 5:30, have the kids and the parents come and help clean the neighborhood and talk about the value of keeping our neighborhood clean. And in addition to, all of the members of the youth committee. And then Linda's going to look into, I believe she said environmental also does it. So we can also do a second date with them. And if this is something we may want to do every couple months or something like that to support our community. So that's what we were I'm just summarizing.
Oh, okay, thank you. So
All right.
let me ask the question. You have a guest speaker. Are you gonna allow him to speak or it's not on your agenda?
Who's my guest speaker today?
I introduced Captain Taylor. Is he there?
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes, we can do. All right. I'm
Yes,
sorry
he's
about
there.
that. Yes, I remember you mentioning it, but I didn't officially put it on there. That's fine for him to come and talk to us. So I will pause the rest of the discussion, and Mr. Taylor, if you, Mr. Stotts, if you want to join in and have a conversation with us, you can, but if you could be on camera, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically the thing I want to be a part of, especially if you're doing like community cleanups and stuff, like that's something we'd really love to help out with, especially if you need vehicles or just help with manpower and that sort of stuff. We'd love to help out any way possible. One of the big things I wanted to reach out and say was we're going to be doing an event at West Point on the 21st of October. If anybody's interested in coming, it's for everybody. It's going to be up at West Point. We're going to do all the transportation, everything in coordination that way. But we'd love for as much participation as possible. We're going to coordinate for a bus to come to Crown Heights to do a pickup. And we're going to have up to 40 seats available. I have a little flyer I sent out to Felice. We'll be leaving at like 7 a.m, and it's just be a fun time for people to get out and see the Army kind of in a different light than they regularly would. And especially for stuff in the community, if there's anything that we can do, if you need some funding for some stuff, some food, just some people to come help out to chaperone, we're more than happy to support in any way. I don't have anything super pressing to put out. We're on Utica and Eastern Parkway, but if there's anything that we can do to help facilitate things, especially the cleanup or clothing drives, we've got over 190 people in the New York City Metro, and we're always looking for a way to give back and do better. All right. That's all I really have, but thank you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes. So you're like right next to the McDonald's?
Yeah, just right above it, actually.
Above the McDonald's. Okay. And so could you give us a little more information? So with the West Point thing, because I believe that Felice and Pam did send me information about that. Could you let us know a little bit about what the goal of that is, and like what population of people are you kind of looking to join? And is there did you send like an official flyer to me? You could have, but if you didn't, we could definitely put it out there to people, and we could add it to the Friday bulletins that come out from CB9. That could be another thing that could be helpful for people to know to come. But what's kind of your goal? Because I know West Point's a big deal. And what day of the week is that?
I believe it's on a Saturday. It's a Saturday morning. So we tried to deconflict because we know everybody's got a busy schedule with work and everything else, and students are in school. And our biggest thing is that it's not necessarily like a recruiting venture. It's more of an awareness type deal that I know a lot of people you don't see the Army unless it's on TV or in a movie. So we kind of wanted to show, hey, this is what college students that are getting in the Army do. This is, so it's the Sandhurst competition. So it's a military skills competition. So it's a whole bunch of different stuff. but it's mostly like physical things. And if if you have students that are in JROTC, it's very similar to their Raider competitions that they do. But it's mostly just an opportunity to get people to go see West Point, see the Army in kind of a different light than it's often portrayed, and see the best parts of what it means to be a cadet at West Point. If you have people that are interested in doing that or doing ROTC at whatever college they decide to go to.
Okay. And West Point is in where is West Point again?
It's just north of the city. It's on the Hudson River. I can't remember the town that's right by it, but it's about an hour and 15, hour and 30. I mean, you gotta take traffic into account, but like if at 7 a.m, it takes about an hour, 15, hour and a half to get up there.
Okay. All right. So it's like more like upside. For some reason, I thought it was another state. I didn't know that West Point was in New York. Yeah, I know I didn't, because I mean, I know a lot of good, but I heard it's also a very rigorous program, and it's not something that's really very competitive to get into.
It definitely is. It definitely is. But it's very similar. So a lot of the cadets there, the senior ROTCs are very similar, but they just do it at I mean, CUNY has one, Fordham has one, NYU, St. John's. So there's senior ROTCs for young people to get their school paid for while serving in the military, all throughout the city, that aren't necessarily as 5 to 25 people per state of the United States getting in to West Point with a congressional nomination or a presidential nomination.
Right.
But it is very, very cool to see, and it's a very interesting place.
Okay, wonderful.
What age group do you expand to?
I mean, as young as parents are willing to send their kids and would like to come with their children. But honestly, it's all ages. The only difficult portion is everyone that's 12 years or older has to have a official government ID. So that's a city or state ID. And we're currently working through whether a school ID will work. I sent up a request for information to the West Point Garrison Security to see if we can get kind of a pass through by having armed service personnel escort everyone on to post. So that's still pending for us right now, because that was kind of a blunder on our portion on planning. But we're still working through that one. But all ages, everyone that would like to go is more than welcome to go.
All right, last question, and I'm sorry.
You're good.
What's the age group that a parent can say, I want my child in this program?
To start doing things with us?
Yes.
Or, I mean, 16 and older, just because that's our age range that we normally work with. But we have a couple stations that do a lot of stuff with the Explorers. So that's really like 13, 14 years old and older for the most part that we work very closely with. So 13-ish. But that's mostly just a leadership mentor academy kind of thing instead of necessarily anything to do with recruitment. Because we can't really pitch recruiting until they're over 17 with parental consent or over 18.
Thank you for that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stats, for that. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay. All right. So thanks, and we're definitely if you could just make sure you send a flyer, and then if you guys send me the flyer, I'll add it to, or Felice or anybody could actually just add it to the CB9 poster, but send it to us and we can also post it to various places.
Absolutely will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming today. Thanks. All right. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Do we want to do a clothing drive? But I want to make sure that if we think about doing a clothing drive, that would then mean I would think the central location should be the CB9 office, if that's a possibility. And then how long are we running it, right? Because if we do it, this is not like, we have to get the word out. We have to get people to support. We have to get people to drop it off. And we have to have, I guess, barrels or some kind of big container to put the clothes in. and who are we donating the clothes to? So if we want to do that, we have to think about all the pieces that go along with doing a clothing drive. So is this something that we want to do? Are we manageable to be able to do it, is my question, putting it out there.
I think having it at the central office is a great idea, just so we know exactly where things are going. And then, but I think we should start as soon as possible, and then maybe run it up until maybe middle of December, a week or so, a couple of weeks before Christmas, or say just run it as long as possible. But like you said, I think the biggest thing is just figuring out, where are we just going to give these clothes away, like packaging them, or are we going to actually decide on a charity or something to give them to? I think that's the thing we need to decide. But the longer it runs, obviously, the more items that we get and we receive, and we'll just go from there. But we just need to decide where are we sending these items. So if anybody has suggestions, but I think it's just a good idea to just have it running continuously.
Okay. I mean, is this something we want to do? I guess that's the first step. Because there's a lot of moving pieces to doing a clothing drive. So I think I need a vote. I mean, I don't know. What do people want? Do you want to do a clothing drive? That's the question. You can put hands up if you say yes. I see Latween got one. Is anybody else? Okay. All right. So I guess we're not voting to do it then, which is okay. We don't have to do everything.
So, hi everyone. So I think doing the closing drive is fine. In my experience doing closing drives in the past, that the problem is finding an organization to take it. That's always been the issue in my experience. And it was hard before COVID, and I know there were some additional changes after. That's just been my experience with the drives.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's been a kind of a crapshoot, because sometimes you could get a lot of people to donate, and then sometimes not a lot of people donate. So we end up only getting a little bit of donation. It doesn't really go too far. And then if you get a lot of people, where does other stuff go? Like, is there enough space in the office to keep things? It's just, a lot of little logistic things that go along with that. And I don't think, I think everybody could give suggestions. It's not like we have to say yes to everything, but we definitely should say yes to those things that I feel are manageable for us. So in looking at this, we could do a final count. Right now, only 2 people agreed, which would make it a majority. All right.
Well, I think it's something that maybe we can just leave on the table for a little while and maybe take it in, because, at my church, we do Giving Tuesdays in the month of July and August, and we do have a clothing drive. Okay. And with that clothing drive, honestly, this year with the migration and the immigrants, we gave out almost all the clothes.
Okay.
So it might be something to consider. And we are we having some work done in, but we are looking at starting our own store. So a coat drive, you can have a coat drive for a particular shelter. You can have, different things, but it is something that maybe we could ponder on a little bit and figure out what organizations, Goodwill, Catholic Charities, they take the clothes, but you have to take the clothes to them. So it's doable if people really want to do it, just so to put it out there for everybody.
And then now that you said that, I am going to be working with the shelter they call Ricerson Street, which is by Navy Yard. And what they call in shelters is like old hotels and stuff like that, where there's going to be immigrant families. So I'll be doing some work with them. I guess if there's something we wanted to consider donating clothes or food or things to them, once I start there, that's something I could put out there, and then we could figure it out to see if that's something we want to table. And I could follow back up with all of you on that.
Just to also add in there, my cohort of youth, MBS KYC, they're also looking to do a clothing drive as well as a distribution event. We've identified early stage Restoration Plaza as an area where we want to give away a lot of the clothes. And so in terms of finding organizations to take it, we definitely are more than happy to take on some of those clothes, as we are looking to give away a lot to that community.
Okay. Okay. All right, so let's just table it to next month and let's see, you know, where people are at and what we need to do. Sounds great. Thanks, Akwesi. Community garden, is that something that we want to do possibly at the Union Street one or the school garden? But that would be like a spring thing, if anything. Do we want to do that for sure? Just put your hands up if you're interested. Nobody wants to do community garden? Okay. All right. And the youth summit, we could join with Jackie Robinson school program, and we could work to support their youth summit and, you know, possibly have a couple panelists maybe from our own team to support with that. Are we interested in doing the youth summit?
Do you have a date?
Yeah,
I'm getting that. Yeah, I've been waiting to get all of that. I think they're still in planning phase. So, you know, we can be a part of their planning and stuff too, but I'll be there tomorrow. Okay, I see hands going and coming. So is it possible to keep it up for a second so that Latween can get who said yes? I saw a bunch come and then I just seen them disappear. Okay. Okay. Does it go away on its own or something?
I feel like when people start talking or something, then it does.
It goes away. Oh, okay. Because
Actually, if you use the raise hand function,
yeah, raise hand is better. Yeah.
But if you use these, they still go away.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay. So we have John, Akwesi, Natoya, Alethea, Latween, Felicia. Felice, do you have a vote on that? So I know you're a member. Candace.
You know, I vote with you.
Okay, so you saying yes?
With you. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Felice and Pam, I think are you still a member, Pam? Pam?
Yes.
I'm sorry, yes.
No, I was saying, are you still a board member?
Yes.
Okay.
I filled out my paperwork.
Okay, are you voting?
I need more information, when it is and what's the topic, what's the theme.
Well, all of that was still being decided. So it's just knowing that we're collaborating with them to do it, but I don't have any of that.
If they willing to collaborate with us, I would say yes. I'll put my hand up.
All right, so that's another yes. All right, so that's a majority right there. All right. Okay. So based on based on what we have right now, we have a commitment for doing the community neighborhood cleanup. We may do one on our own and possibly one with environmental, or we'll do it with environmental. We're still working on the date. We're gonna pause on the clothing drive. There was a no for the community garden. And the youth summit is a yes, and we're gonna collaborate with Jackie Robinson Middle School for the youth summit.
Will we have flyers for our community blast for the youth summit?
Yeah, we will. So once I get more of the details, I'm gonna be able to see the person so the community school at Jackie Robinson Middle School, they're the ones doing it. I'll be able to see him tomorrow and talk a little bit more about it, because I think they're just in the very early planning stages.
Okay, looking good.
That's really good. Yeah, and then, you know, I invited him to come and talk to us about it too.
Perfect. Do you got a date or any time?
No,
Not
I don't
really
have any. Yeah, I don't have
a
anything
time.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about actually think about time period. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I'll find out. You know,
Yeah.
we just briefly talked about it, so it wasn't really time. And I know he's in the early stages. He hasn't given me much detail yet, but I'll follow up tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So that's a yes. Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, so I think we have a good agenda so far. You know, and it's not like this is the only thing. If things are coming up during the year that we're really interested in doing, then we can always, you know, add more to the agenda. I know, you know, winter months, we may not want to be doing too much outside, but, you know, we can continue to do planning. Is there any particular people that people would like to, you know, because we do have guest speakers, you know, like we had Mr. Stotts today, but we do have, is there people in education or in youth that we would want to have any particular guest speakers this year that can talk about things that are of interest? I know last year we had like principals, we had DYCD, we had a couple of, you know, different people come through. Are there any interest for anybody in particular this year? Don't everybody speak at once.
Oh, with it getting cold, I know maybe some type of like, maybe coaches for like some sports teams or something. I know we discussed PAL last time. So I know instead of like having, you know, kids with stuck, maybe they could join like a basketball league or something, and just have them doing something aside from being in the house or playing games inside. So maybe some coaches.
All right, sounds good.
I think for me, I'm curious to hear if folks are interested in a youth who runs his own gun violence prevention program. Speaking, he's currently a student at City Tech, but he's been doing this for the past 4 years, and he's worked closely with my organization, DYCD, and a number of others. So I think it'd be cool for youth to hear from another youth.
Yes.
That's a great
Perfect.
one. You want to give the name a little bit, Latween, and then Latween can connect with you, Akwesi?
Yeah.
Read that first part.
Say that again, Akwesi. I'm sorry, I missed something.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the first part of what you said.
Oh, I was saying if you could give her the information so we'll know how to contact you and we could get the information because you can't do chat on here. So we'll be able to get the information from you to follow up to do that. Another person that I met and spoke to, there's Jermaine Pilgrim, who is one of the executive directors at ACS. There's a lot of programming and different stuff from, you know, youth of all ages. I just did, I was one of the panelists in breakout workshops leaders for their shelter program. So what it is that they have like temporary housing shelters for kids who are like entering into foster care. But sometimes when they get taken out, if there's not a lot of, you know, if there's not enough foster parents or people right away, they get put into like temporary housing. And so we just did a panel discussion with them because they've been seeing a higher rate of like fighting and different things going on while they're waiting to be placed in foster homes. So, you know, I was thinking it'd be great. Maybe there's something we could do with them, but also have him talk about the various programs for youth in ACS and like maybe steps we could take for if we're seeing things happening in our neighborhood. You know, ACS might be a resource, not into just have them viewed as a organization that takes kids away from their parents, but I know that there are other supports and things that they do give families around youth. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I could definitely invite Mr. Pilgrim to talk about the various programs and things that they offer. And I'm sure that it's a catchment area for all of New York, so New York City. So that's something, if you guys would be interested, I could definitely talk to him about coming to speak to us about that. And I know a lot of the times people are afraid to call ACS when we see abuse or things going on because we think they're going to just take kids. And a lot of the time that's a last resort. A lot of the times it's more like, okay, now you have a person who's going to be oversight and we have to be mindful of what we're doing so that that's not something that happens. Sometimes they could also be mandated to parenting classes. So it's not like people just jump to take people's kids away. So those are things that we could educate ourselves about and educate our neighbors about too. Is there any other, do we want to have any principals come in? I could work on stuff like that. And maybe also DYCD again, which, also gives us, what are your feelings or your thoughts, everybody? You could put your raise hand down if that's fine, but are there any other, are you guys interested in that population coming by and talking with us?
Linda, I have no objection to it, but there is one other thing I would love to see, and I think Kwesi, I hope I pronounced your name right, brought back to mind when he spoke about the young man who's doing something for gun violence for young people around his age. I would love to have that if we could maybe we might be able to find a sponsor or co-sponsor with us where we could highlight and honor these young people. I know there's a young guy, he has like one of those fridges, those food fridges, right? I know there's a few other young people. I know that what's that paper? One of those papers. Every month they have like these leaders in the community, and they're like a lot of older between the 30s and 40-year-olds that are being highlighted a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And I wonder if we as the community board, if we could have something similar. I'm not talking about a fundraiser, but some space where we honor these young people, because they're doing good things, and we are only hearing about when those that do bad things make the news. But we should be able to do something like that. If we keep, having conversations, people coming and speaking and going, and then the other one come and we just garner one or two little things, and we don't really use them a lot. We just entertain them because they want to entertain us also. But I'm wondering if we could just have something more actionable where we honor our young people. Maybe I could write a proposal and then present it that we all could see and have a conversation. It wouldn't be something we would do now. It might be something we would do at the end of our year for the board before we break in September. So it's even something we could do like July, the end of July, school is out, and we'll be able to have something for them.
Okay, that sounds great. I mean, I like that idea. I don't think anybody would object to that. I do think that we need to honor our youth more and encourage them to, do all of the good things that they're doing in our community. So I definitely would love to do that. And I'm sure that there'd be like schools and spaces or things
that would help us.
Yeah, I would definitely be open to doing that. I think that's good. And I think I felt like last year we kind of we mentioned it, but didn't go further with it. But like, I think, wasn't we talking about possibly having like a little, I don't want to say award ceremony, but like some kind of us recognizing various people? It could be youth, could be adults, in the community that really are a champion for young people.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but then we kind of let the conversation go on that. But
yeah, I think it was, what her name was. Oh God!
Wasn't we gonna do something where we would like recognize them at the community?
Because I raised it already. Because from first person I saw was the little guy with the fridge, and then I've been looking around and keeping all those clippings of things that's happening in our community. It was you remember the lady? I think she gone to the other committee with public safety. What's her name? Not Jackie or Terry. She was wearing glasses. She was there for a long while. When I joined, she was already there, but she's not there. So we had a conversation. You're right. We had a conversation about it with her and them. And you come, we continue, but we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Really. Because we went into the community fair.
Yes.
Yes, the community fair, right? Yes, the
Right. We
community
were going to
fair.
combine it and then have
Mhm.
like a little recognition or something.
Yeah.
So I think we should think a little bit more about that. And then I also feel like we have champions on the youth committee, you know, and the education, like people here in this group. And I don't feel like people here in this group should be excluded just because they're members, but there are a lot of people that's here because you have the passion for youth, you know, that we could, you know, also recognize. So that's something, you know, maybe if we're not doing it right now, you know, this is going to be a spring thing anyway, but we could think a little bit more about that. And
yes,
we could keep it, you know, Natina and Cynthia could keep it in the notes so that each month we're thinking about, you know, where we want to go or what we want to do.
Yes. Good.
Well, with that being said, McGee, Attorney McGee, is that right? Is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
Okay, McGee. She does criminal. She says she's a criminal attorney. And one of the things that get our young people in trouble is they don't know their rights. You know, sometimes they put themselves in situations that they can avoid. And I think educating our youth on that social emotional learning piece, I think that's something that if we're going to use our talent, that would be something that I would like to throw out there. That's something that maybe we could do monthly or quarterly or whatever works for the attorney. But just how do we keep our children out of trouble to start thinking on that level that, you know, my decisions matter. And I think the law within itself would speak to that by itself. But the knowledge and wisdom that she can impart to our young people, because she looked like a little girl herself.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a big thing I see, and I will be happy if you want to, you know, invite attorneys to come and speak on that specific area. I'll be happy to invite who I know to come and speak or have a little forums.
I think that's a
great one. Once we have,
what do young people think? You know, what does the young people on the line think?
Well,
we have to invite the young people. One time we did something similar for the business young, when we had about 30 kids come. And we got their kids that we could invite. So it'd be more for her to speak to the young people. So yeah, we could work on that. That's an easy one. Get a flyer out, get a date, and just shoot it out to the schools, shoot it out to the churches, and invite the young kids to come and listen.
Don't we have a mega?
I have a way. I was gonna say though, I think the easiest thing is this. We know that what we could do, and I'm not talking about like just my program. I think that maybe what we could do is there's two places I think we could do that. One could be at the Jackie Robinson Middle School, but invite the whole building, you know, not just the after school, but the whole building, and invite their parents and say, we're doing a know your rights. What do you do if you're getting stopped by the cops? What do you do with, what are your rights? What do you need to know? And then we can make it a parent and a student thing where the parents could be educated about even what are we telling our kids to do, right? And then another population is the YABC population at downtown Brooklyn and Prospect Heights. That's another, they have high school student, and this is overage undercredited kids already who probably have already gotten into some, you know, legal issues and things like that. But that's a really good population because they're already, you know, kind of struggling to get out of school and sometimes aren't always making the best decision. Like one of the kids last year died to gun violence. So those I can definitely just set that up, but I think it'd be good for us to do it as an in-person thing, not a virtual thing. Like it should be
yes, in person.
And, you know, all of us should you know, go support and be there. So I could definitely Natoya, if there's a way, I think if you agree for me to get your information, I think that's all you have to do is agree, then Khalid can send it to me and we could plan it out a little bit more.
Sure. I have your email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
All right, we
Khalid
can do the chat, right? Okay, so
Yeah,
I'll
yeah, we can
I'll
do-
send you an email and my cell phone number and
Okay.
connect with you.
Khalid, I think Khalid, all he has to know is if you, as long as you had already, have you sent it to the board? Like,
I
does the
did,
board
I
have
did.
it? Okay.
I
So
did.
as long
You
as
can
you're
reach out to me. I'm
okay.
fine with texting or emails or calls or anything. I'm fine.
All right, so I can work on that and then I can get a couple of locations for us to do it with the
Yes,
youth.
yes.
I think that's beneficial for them.
Yeah, I think that's a very big thing. Still surprised of how misinformed the young people are.
Yeah.
With all the Facebook and Instagram and everything else they're going on, they're misinformed about that particular era. So that would be something to work on.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. All right, so we always make sure that we do our best to end on time. We got 9 minutes left. Is there anything else we want to bring up? If not, we can adjourn the meeting and someone can second. Is there any questions or any other things?
I think somebody had a hand up when we were talking. It was.
No, that was for the vote. They just never.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right.
All right. So thank you, everybody. I love the suggestions. I appreciate all of you that are here, that are coming. I'm hoping this, I know that this year will be a great year and that we're going to be doing some great things for the community. And I appreciate all of you for coming. We'll adjourn now and we'll follow up in between. Latween, could you support, I believe that they sent me the email with some of the members' email addresses. If we have all of everybody's name and stuff on here, we could get it from the board. We can at least get the email address, and if people could just email back their phone numbers, then we could set up in between now and the next meeting. We can do chatting and stuff in between if we need to from here on. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
I just want to say one thing about this committee. This committee has the most board members on it. Other committees are, yes. I
thought your what's that one? The one that
no, you do.
No, I thought what's their name? Your lip or whatever. I thought they had a much bigger group than us. So.
Yeah, they got a much bigger group, but they got a lot of things. But we got the most. I've looked at and they said, "Oh my God, we got the most board members this year."
Oh, nice. Okay, that's because we all love our kids and our community, and we're doing it.
Thank you all.
All right, so I'm moving for the meeting to be adjourned. Does anybody want to second it?
So second.
Okay. And A. Graves, you were quiet with elite learners.
No, I mean, this is my first time, so and I feel a little bad because you can't see my face in the natural. You got to see my pictures. So
I like the dimples.
Thank you. But definitely, I want to get more involved and hopefully, yeah, when you get a chance, if you can just send me some information, that'd be cool. So.
You don't have to, just because you're new doesn't mean you have to be quiet. You have a voice and you're always welcome to talk with us.
But you're welcome to call our district office and give them your name, and you would put on our everything we got, our blast, everything, and you would be sure to know whatever's going on in the community as well as in all our committees, and you can run around, join each one and see what you like. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. All right, everybody. So we'll see you next month, and we're definitely going to work to have everything set up so that we can have the group chats and stuff in between. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.